Hey Void. So, I'm continuing to fill in classic movies that I really should have seen before now, but never got around to or never got the chance to. So, here's another taking another one off my box that's been there for way too long. Scanners. I'd never seen Scanners before now. I've seen plenty of Cronenberg films, never saw Scanners. Released in 1981. 81. This film is one of the earliest, well, psychic brouhaha movies. And I believe is, from what some trivia says, is one of the first ones to depict mental exertion giving people nosebleeds. So, one of the kind of a staple now, but apparently it originated here. So, Scanners follows around then around Cameron Vale, who was a kind of a homeless guy who gets picked up by a lab because they saw him using his psychic abilities in public, more accidentally than not. But they take him in, give him some drugs to make him more calm, and then let him know that he's a scanner, essentially a psychic individual able to scan people, which can cause them to overload them, take control of them, and read their minds, things like that. Well, and apparently there are a lot of scanners. Problem is, one rogue scanner has been gathering all the other ones and seems to be trying to make his own new world order. A man named Daryl Revak, who tried drilling a hole into his head, and is also played by Michael Ironside, so reason enough to see right there. So, and it's pretty much a kind of an investigation trying to track down Revak, figure out what his plan is, and what he's up to, and see about taking him down if possible. Meanwhile, he meets a female scanner who's part of kind of a underground group who isn't involved with him, but might be able to help lead the Revak. And once the two meet, they get kind of a thing and are now in this together. So, yeah, it's alright. The effects, very good, particularly for the time. The infamous head explosion scene I had seen before, and most people have at this point. But they do some other cool effects, particularly towards the end of the film. But the film is a little all over the place. I don't know what Stephen Lack is doing as Cameron, but he's just so awkward and monotone and seems so very just deadpan that he's very hard to relate to. It's hard to get behind this guy. Also, his transition from just bum to now I'm going to do the bidding of this thing doesn't really track. He just starts doing it without really indicating why he wants to help these people, other than that they made the voices in his head get quieter. But he don't really emote, so you can't tell if he's feeling gratitude or whether he's feeling coerced into it. He's a hard protagonist to get behind, and that's kind of a problem. So he wasn't very interesting. The main villain was delightful, but he was not really bringing it for me. The film is just kind of bleak, and it kind of makes it hard to be approachable. It makes it seem like scanners are almost a known thing. There's like a talk conference about it, but that I guess was more invitation only, so it's like they're only known to the government. They do a good job with the lore of explaining where the scanners came from, what happened, and eventually where this is all leading towards. But it gets weird, particularly towards the end and the final psychic confrontation between Cameron and Revak. But yeah, it's just the effects are good, but it's kind of hard to care sometimes about this one, which is a problem. it's you don't know, can't really get in behind the motivations of the characters. So as much as this one is a staple, it's hard to get invested in. So it's one of those ones where like it is a little convoluted what's going on also, but not it's not hard to follow, but it's just it feels like you're always one step behind and not in a good way. Also, the main leads don't really have that much good at chemistry, so it's a weird romance to try to get behind also. I will say Patrick McGowan's Doctor was good, so was Ironside, but I can see why this movie became a staple. But for me, out of respect, I can give this one 6 MacGuffins. The effects are good. The world they set up is, well, bleak but interesting. But some of the characters make it a little tricky. So, I did like Scanners, but I probably won't watch this one very often. I know it did spin off a couple sequels. I don't know if they fix any of the issues I'm having, but for me, it was okay. So yeah, I'll give it 6 MacGuffins though. That's really all. I mean, the most fascinating part is that big head explosion, other than the final confrontation at the end, and those are pretty much the main highlights, so. I guess I'm just more of a fire starter person when it comes to this sort of thing. For big government agency after people with mental powers. It's no Carrie. Okay. That's all for me. See you soon, Void.